Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through CODA. And everything is terrible as usual. So, having a horrible talk with Setsuna's parents and telling her, we're leaving your daughter for another woman, which was so bad. Setsuna's mom cried a lot. Turns out Takahiro-kun also overheard, so let's hear what he has to say. And those clenched fists flew into the air. I calmly closed my eyes.
Takahiro! なんだよそれ。なんなんだよ。あんた一体何言ってんだよ。頭おかしいんじゃないのか。
I feel a heavy impact on the back of my head and a pain that spreads from my cheeks to my mouth. A warm metallic taste spreads to the depths of my nose and my throat.
ごめん。ごめんな。話しかけんな。姉ちゃんはどうなるんだよ。付属の頃から付き合ってきたんじゃないのかよ。婚約したんじゃなかったのかよ。俺の兄貴になるつもりだったんじゃないのかよ。高弘、返せよ。姉ちゃんの5年間を。あんたにめちゃめちゃにされた5年を返してくれよ。北原。
Oh my god, but it's true and I'm glad he's saying it. I'm glad he's like sticking up to his sister. For his sister.
やめなさい、高弘。やめなさいってば。お父さん。それで、春樹くんは
My god. He's such a good little brother.
春樹くんは
ついさっき帰った。まだ5分も経ってない。やめなさい、刹那。もう遅い。今から外出なんて認めないぞ。
ふざけないでよ。みんなで春樹くんにひどいことして、当てたかって彼のこと傷つけて。
Come on, Setsuna.
刹那嫌い。みんな嫌い。大嫌い。姉ちゃん、春樹くんを追い詰める人なんか、彼を私から引き離そうとする人たちなんか大嫌い。
She needs someone to blame, and if she can't blame the person who's doing it to her directly, then she just has to blame everyone around her. It's not logical, but she's heartbroken. My burning hot cheeks are grazed by the cold wind, and the pain I was numb to finally makes itself known. I still have tunnel vision. The blood from the cut in my mouth mixes with the blood from my nose, and a horrible taste envelops my tongue. Yet, I was oblivious to the pain from all these wounds up until a short while ago.
やめなさい、高弘。やめろと言ってるのかわからないのか。他人に暴力を振るうんじゃない。この人はうちとは何の関係もない人だ。北原君、うちの息子がひどいことをした。どうか許してくれ。もし病院に行くような怪我だったら、治療費は責任を持って全額負担する。本当にすまなかった。
Too mature. He deserved the punch. Many punches. More punches.
そしてどうかお願いだ。私から呼び出しておいて失礼だとは思う。しかし二度と こへは来ないでほしい。
Good. Good. That's what needs to happen. Her father's words, her mother's crying, and her brother's relentless fists. Those actions that reinforce the fact that they love their family. The realization of that hurts. Because it felt like my heart was going to be torn in two. And for a second time, my physical pain is chased away by sheer emotional pain.
刹那、なんで？近道があるんだ。近所に住んでる人しか知らない狭い裏道なんだけどね。
Even though she was completely out of breath, Setsuna continued to explain. Yet, her explanation wasn't the reason she chased me, only the reason she caught up with me. Setsuna, just let him go. You deserve so much better than this. Setsuna took out a handkerchief and wetted it. Wetted it? Is that a word? By a nearby water fountain. Just like she said, even my burning cheeks felt like they were going to freeze over. Yet I couldn't feel sorry for myself because I felt at the same time the coldness in Setsuna's hands as she gripped the handkerchief.
ごめんね。高弘がとんでもないことしちゃって。刹那が謝ることじゃないし、もちろん高弘くんも悪くなんかない。悪いよ。こんなに傷つけて。私の大事な人なのに。みんなひどい。刹那。
The cruel one here is me. Yet, even now, Setsuna is still defending me. Her true feelings, her escape from reality, and her numerous misunderstandings blended together, and her feelings for me have become even stronger than before. Almost like me, she's making enemies of everyone around her.
今度は死ねるかもしれないけど、こっちも我慢ね。いいよ、そんな。ほら、動かないで。大人なら我慢できるよ。
Setsuna didn't allow me to speak about what happened. When she appeared in front of me, she was holding a first aid box in both hands. A big box with every possible necessity. Because once again, it just goes to show that Setsuna's ready to become a wife, part of a family, ready to get married, ready to be useful. I don't want to call Kazusa useless, but like, it just goes to show how different they are. The fact that I came over, that I spoke to her parents, and that I got myself injured. Overwhelmed with so many truths that disturbed her heart, Setsuna threw all her thoughts away and instead chose to come running with this heavy box.
ごめん。
Her rash behavior, her adorableness, and the lovable way she's harboring these assumptions as she heals the wounds on my cheeks. And with them, I can feel a bit of pain, coldness, and a never-ending warmth. You don't deserve that warmth. I'm just gonna say it. You don't deserve that warmth at all.
はい、これでおしまい。お疲れ様でした。
After finally applying some gauze around my mouth and sticking it in place with tape, Setsuna puts the materials back into the first aid box. All with a composed expression. All while we're in an atmosphere that's no different to how things used to be. It's almost as if nothing had happened. almost as if the two of us were back to our old selves.
ちょっと喋りにくいかな。何か喋ってみて。
もう俺をかばおうとするなよ。
そんなこと喋ってって言ってるんじゃないよ。一言でいいんだよ。ただテープが剥がれないか確かめたいだけなんだよ。
Yet all that was a front that could be broken apart with a single word.
間違ってる人間に手を差し伸べるなよ。
それを決めるのは私だよ。春樹くんにどうこう言われることじゃないよ。
Yet that stubbornness? The first time I realized that Setsuna would never admit any fault in me was back then.
3人でいいよ。ただずっと3人でいたかったから。私を仲間外れにしてほしくなかったから。3人がいいんだよ。だから何も終わってないんだよ、私たち。
If only it were that simple.
行こう、春樹くん。まだ終わってないんだよ、私たち。
Right now, we're sharing the memories about the same place and the same time. But that is not a coincidence. Because the situation back then and right now are far too similar to each other.
そうだよ。だってそれこそが私が昔から望んでいたことだもの。
刹那。
春樹くんとカズサと私の3人に戻ろう。あの学園祭の祭りの前の日に戻ろうよ。
You can't, though. Your relationships are more complex, more close, more... You know, you're adults now. You can't. 5 years have passed, yet Setsuna is still the same.
私のせいでカズサがいなくなって、もう二度と実現できないって思ってた。
She decides that everything is her own fault and comes up with these contrived reasons to show why it's I'm faultless.
だから春樹くんと2人で同じ大きさの違う幸せを積み上げていくことになるんだって、一緒に生きていくんだって、そう信じてた。
Always putting herself in the worst position.
けどそれができないのなら、違う、できないのは辛くない、悔しくない。
However,
ただ5年前の今と同じくらい、それ以上の大きな幸せに包まれるだけだよ。
however, Setsuna,
だからねえ春樹くん、私を入れてよ。仲間外れにしないでよ。
don't do this to her. Don't do this to her. This time alone,
ダメだよ。
どうして？
because I love Setsuna too much to keep the balance, even between the three of us.
そんなの誰も認めてくれるわけないだろ。
誰も認めてくれなくてもいいよ。3人が幸せになれるんなら、私は他には何も。
Setsuna. Even so, if I were to force myself to accept the three of us being together, I won't be able to return to just the two of us ever again. And that goes for both Kazusa and Setsuna.
ダメだ。刹那までそんなこと言うな。
I'd only end up making the two people I care about more than anything else in the world completely miserable, chaining them to myself in a limbo where I'm closely tied to the both of them, yet also indecisive at the same time.
言うよ、言わせてよ。だって私、春樹くんもカズサも大好きなのに、せっかくまた3人に戻れるかもしれないのに。
俺ウィーンに行くんだ。だからもう3人は無理なんだよ。
My god. After 5 years, I can't even imagine. So I'll have to make the choice. The future without Setsuna. Even if it means I have to use different means. I cannot involve Setsuna in a future without light at the end of the tunnel.
カズサと一緒に行くんだ。
Setsuna slowly puts her fingers on my shoulder. If she embraced me or kissed me, I wouldn't have the strength to push her away. She doesn't get any closer than that. Even now, she's trying her best not to cause me more trouble. Or rather...
だったら私も行く。ウィーンに一緒に。
切な。
She's giving me up to Kazusa.
これからも春樹くんと、そしてこれからはカズサとも一緒にいる。大丈夫。足手まといになんかならないから。
You deserve so much more than being a weird third wheel in a foreign country. Without questioning how unreasonable Kazusa and I are being, she brings back all the guilt she was supposed to have thrown away 2 years ago.
ダメだ。
どうして？
If everything is her responsibility, then everything will be solved if she merely changes herself. Those are the nightmarish delusions she's trying to convince herself of.
だって切なには家族がいる。イオがいる。柳原がいる。他にもたくさんのつながる人たちがいる。
Well, so did you, Haruki, but you were able to sever your bonds with literally everyone.
そんなのなくしたっていい。
Even as I'm making a choice that will bring happiness to no one, she's denying it with a choice with an even more miserable outcome.
家族も友達も仕事も私たち3人以外に欲しいものなんか何も。
いいわけないだろ。そんなの耐えられるわけないだろ。
If she makes such a depraved decision, she'll inevitably get hurt. After all, Setsuna just isn't the kind of person who can live without interacting with others around her. She's the kind of person who asks for help and helps others, the kind who supports others in their time of need and lets others help her with her own weaknesses. Setsuna is, or rather, most people are like that. Setsuna is the kind of person who can firmly plant her roots in this world, just like a normal person does. That's why if she becomes uprooted from the earth, she'll be separated from the world and wither away. Moreover,
切なだけじゃない。カズサだって。
至らないところは改める。無理せずに頑張る。カズサとしっかり話し合う。だから。
無理だよ。切ながいくら頑張ってもカズサが頑張れない。
oh no.
取らないよ。もうカズサの春樹くん取ったりしないから。
No, that's not it, Setsuna. Kazusa still loves you too. She has always loved you. But this is different. The three of us that you're thinking of is not the same as the one Kazusa is thinking of. What you want is a three of us that exists in a broader world. A group surrounded by warmth and kindness, and sometimes sternness from loved ones. A vast and proper way of life. But that's not what Kazusa sees. No matter how much she tried to broaden her horizons throughout these 5 years, it never worked out. The only places where she belonged was with Yoko-san and within her memories. Okay, but to correct Haruki a little bit, I don't think Kazusa tried all that hard. The piano introduced Kazusa to a broader world, but it couldn't provide her with that world. It's because she rejected it. If Setsuna is a tree that plants roots, then Kazusa is a tumbleweed. It's just not possible for her to extend her roots and live firmly. She must find water to sustain herself little by little as she goes, separated both from the ground and the world.
俺だけなんだ。あいつに必要なの俺だけなんだよ。
It's not a matter of whether I love her or not. As someone who has lived in contact with the broad horizons of the world up until now, and as someone who can live without that world, I alone can be the water she needs. That's all there is to it.
せつな、もう俺のこと忘れてくれ。
But there is no way Setsuna would understand, even if I did tell her.
俺もせつなのこと忘れるから。
Oh, that's so cruel. That's so cruel. How could you say that to someone while she's having a breakdown? So all I can tell her are these words of farewell.
カズサと行くよ。俺カズサと一緒に行くんだ。
I'm going with Kazusa. There is no longer anyone but us two. I'll start living in a world for Kazusa alone. If it means protecting Kazusa, I might be the only one coming in contact with the world. But I won't bring that world with me back to Kazusa. I won't waver anymore. No one can enter the world for Kazusa and me. Hello there. We have certainly had a day.
何やってんだよこんなとこで。今何時だと思ってんだ。
I don't remember if it was me or Setsuna who left first. I don't even remember which road I used to return here. Yet before I knew it, I was in front of my apartment. And late in the night, well after midnight, someone was waiting for me in the freezing entranceway.
お前その顔。
先にこっちの質問に答えろよ。順番だろ。
It was Kazusa who was waiting for me outside the door, breathing warm air into her world-famous hands.
部屋で待ってたんだけど、お前なかなか帰ってこないから、それで電話してみても繋がらなかったから。
ああ、切ってた。悪い。
だからちょっとマンションの外に出てみて、ちょっと駅前まで迎えに行ってみて、行き違いだったら嫌だなって急いで戻って、でやっぱ帰ってないから部屋でふて寝しようとして、結局眠れなくって最初に戻る。
で
あとはそれを5回繰り返し。
そんな暇があったら早く寝ろ。お前もうコンサートまで1週間切ってるんだぞ。
You know Kazusa isn't the type to actually care about something like that. She'll destroy herself if it means getting 5 more minutes with you. What an idiot. How counterproductive can she be?
そんなことよりも順番だ。春樹、お前その顔。
ああ、そうだ。これ飲むか。さっきコンビニで買ってきたんだけど。
Haruki's so infuriating, avoiding the subject constantly. She asked you a question, have a conversation about her with her about it, like an adult.
あからさまに逃げやがったな。
さて、何のことやら。
本当にどうしたんだよ。怪我してきたり、ワインなんか買ってきたり。
帰り道で飲もうとしたんだけど。
けど？
お前に餌与えてないことに気がついたから。
今何時だと思ってんだ。
But that part of her dragged me out a little from the pit of despair.
本当はさ、お前また私に黙って勝手に傷ついてきたんだろ。
さて、何のことやら。
She shouldn't do this, providing relief to the person who deserves nothing but condemnation.
私に黙って自分を追い込むな。お前はもうお前のものじゃないんだぞ。
お前の体はもうお前だけのものじゃないだろ。必要な部分まで省略するな。
That's a rude thing to say. It's not just your body she's after, it's your whole being.
似たようなものだ。お前は私のものだ。
カズさん。
I'm sure Setsuna's breaking into tears right now, and I've caused the smiles of the Ogiso family to disappear. Everything is my fault, yet I'm the one being comforted.
相変わらずお前は誰でも追い込むんだな。相手だけじゃなく自分にも容赦しない。世界一のいじめっ子だよ。
俺が傷ついてるって思うなら、もうちょっと優しく慰めようとかいう気はないのか。
You want punishment, you don't want punishment. You want punishment, you don't want punishment. You gotta make up your mind. But because you keep clinging on to me, I can't help finding solace in you.
へえ、春樹はどんなコースがお望み？
何も言わずに優しく抱きしめるとか。
I can't help trying to obtain what I'm not allowed to desire.
してもいいなら容赦しないぞ。
I'll end up showing cracks in my resolve.
私、お前を思いっきり抱きしめるぞ。ものすごい勢いでキスするぞ。最後まで止まらないぞ。
それは優しく慰めるとは言わないだろう。
Well, it depends on your definition, I suppose.
何もかも忘れさせてやるぞ。
それは男のセリフだろ。
あとはお前の決断だけど。私はお前がお預けをやめてくれるまで行儀よくお座りして一生懸命尻尾振って今か今かと待ってるだけなんだからな。
I think I heard her purr for a second. Perhaps she was sensitive to that crack in my resolve, so that at the first sight of it, a switch went off inside of her. Her lust for me, her desire to save me, those two intense desires that exist within Kazusa.
カズさん、俺
なんてな。お前にそんな勇気があるわけないよな。
Yet Kazusa represses those feelings, all in consideration for Haruki.
勇気ないくせに強いもんな。 私の優しさなんか全然必要としないもんな。
そんなこと。
まあ気長に待つよ。私が欲しくなったらいつでも言ってくれ。もうお前を拒むことなんか二度とないんだから。
But as I thought, she's showing such restraint for my sake. Her way of showing that she prioritizes my feelings over anything else. No matter what Kazusa does, it's always about me, me, me. There may no longer be a person by the name of Toma Kazusa who doesn't live under my shadow.
とにかく部屋に入るよ。なんて私の部屋じゃないんだけどさ。
Then I'll...
春樹
I'll...
いいのか。
Foo 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 foo. Alright, after all that emotional crud, now we finally reached a point where you can kind of take a deep breath. So, we'll hold off there for today. Thank you so much for being here with me on this episode of CODA, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, hope you take care. See you!